it's Chantel with Wildberry Quilting, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. I've been watching a lot of FlossTube lately, and one of the video types that I really enjoy is these inspiration kind of pattern, this is the new season coming type videos. But there isn't really anything out there in this category for quilting. So I thought it'd be fun if I put together some of the Valentine's quilting inspiration that I have come across. And this is going to include patterns, quilt kits, fabric, and books. So let's get into it. I'm going to, as I talk about each thing, put a picture of it right here. So let's start out with fabric. You may see me look down every once in a while to the side. That's because that's where I have my computer set up, where I have pictures of everything I'm talking about. All right, so the first fabric line we're going to start with is called My Valentine, and it's from Echo Park. Now this fabric line also has a matching panel. Has these really cute little motifs on their panel that really speaks to like that 1950s kind of diner sort of thing. At least in my mind it does. You've got the ice cream sundae on one of the panels, and it's just really adorable. Next up we have XOXO by April Rosenthal, and I thought this was just a really interesting fabric line because it just has a very sophisticated feel to it. And I don't know, there's something that kind of makes me think of Paris or something with it. And I think this one would be really great for somebody who has a little bit more refined taste and wants something to look just a little bit more higher end or upscale, because it's just that little bit of a touch more, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. It is more sophisticated though, that's all I can come up with. And this line also has a matching panel. And again, that panel looks just really nice when it's put together with the fabrics from the line. Next up, we have I Love Us by Sandy Gervais. And again, this fabric line comes with a matching panel. And it is so sweet and perfect for that shabby chic kind of cottagecore aesthetic, I think. But it's also nice for just a softer touch. And I have to say, I've really fallen for this particular line. And again, we've got the matching panel for it. Now, next up, we have two lines that have the same name. So I'm going to go out through them one at a time. The name is Love Struck, and the first one is by Art Gallery. Now, Love Struck has these bright, vibrant, hot pinks, but it also has things like sunglasses and cake and just a combination fabric that has lots of different little bits of paraphernalia. And it's just a lot of fun. It would be a great one for somebody who maybe is a teenager or likes things that are a little bit more edgy or has kind of a little bit of that punk vibe. So the next Love Struck that we have is actually by Lella Boutique. And this is definitely hitting hard on that cottagecore kind of a feel. And it has colors in it that don't just yell Valentine's, it also transitions very nicely for spring. And it is just beautiful with that classic Lella Boutique style that she is loved so much for. So next up we have Lighthearted by Camille RosKelley. And this is not actually, I don't believe this was strictly meant to be a Valentine's line, but the colors in it are just so perfect for that. You've got the pinks and the reds and the whites, but then you've also got some aquas and some greens, and it's just really nice the way that it all comes together. It definitely makes some really adorable Valentine's inspired quilts that could transition very nicely into spring. So next up we have Mint for You by Melissa Mortenson from Riley Blake. And this line is just so cute. It makes me think of Japan with the kawaii type stuff. It's got all the little animals and fruit and postage stamp looking fabrics. This would be a great line to make a quilt or project for a younger child, or just for somebody who enjoys that kawaii and Japanese type inspired stuff. All right, so next up we have patterns. And of course you could use the previous fabric that we went over, or you could use some of your fabric that you've got at home for these. And the first one on our list is Explosion of Love by Sandy Gervais. And this is just a very sweet, almost reminiscent of like a Barnstar type quilt, but then with the little hearts in the center of your blocks. And the cool thing about this particular pattern is it comes with instructions for the quilt itself, or for a pillow, or for a table runner. So you have lots of options here. Next up, we have Be My Valentine by Stacy, Iest. I'm so sorry. I probably mangled that name, but hopefully it's enough to get you to the pattern. This pattern's so cute. It has these adorable little envelopes that are stuffed full of hearts or love. Next up, we have Hold Me by Prairie Grass Patterns. And I thought this particular pattern would look so good with XOXO from April Rosenthal. It just seemed like they were kind of made for each other. So I have two more patterns from Stacy, Iest, Sue. And I'm going to say them together so that I don't have to say her name a third time. The first one is A Swan's Love. And this is just so beautiful. It does look like it's a lot of pieces, just like you can expect anytime you see an animal type quilt where it is piecing together to make the animal. And of course, you probably want to use fabrics that have smaller prints or possibly even solids for this. We also have Sweet Sentiment, and this one has these sweet little love birds kissing or meeting towards the middle of the quilt. And again, this looks like it's a lot of pieces, and the same is true for the types of fabrics that you're going to want to use for this one. Next up, we've got a free pattern, and it also comes with a bonus pillow pattern. Now this is from Fat Quarter Shop, and it is called Healing Hearts. I believe this was released for Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, but I think this one would also work very well for Valentine's Day. All right, next up, I scoured Etsy and I found a beautiful pattern that is probably at the top of my list of one of the ones I'm gonna have to get. It is called Love and Wishes by Maple Cottage Designs, and it is just stunning. It is perfect for that farmhouse look or that cottage core or shabby chic country type of vibe. It will work for all of them. It's also very classic. And it includes instructions for the quilt, a table runner, and a pillow. And of course, you know, I had to include something from Corey Yoder. This is Loveliness, and let's just say it is definitely lovely. I've got another Etsy pattern. This is called String of Hearts, and it is from the Rose Petal Quilt Shop. This one's almost giving me St. Patrick's Day vibes, but of course you can change the colors and use whatever shades you want to make these hearts. And something really cool about this one is that it gives you instructions for how to make a baby size, a throw size, or a bed size. And each of the different sizes is configured a little bit different on the back, so you get a completely different looking quilt depending on what size you choose. Now, I would think that you can probably choose to go with any of these layouts for any size, but I haven't bought the pattern, so I can't tell you exactly for sure whether that's the case. Next, I've included a pillow pattern, and this is called Love Notes by Jane Michael. And it was just too cute to pass up. You know, maybe if you wanted it to be larger and make a quilt or something with it, you could do a repeat of it and just put several of them together. But I couldn't pass it up. And you know, sometimes you just want a pillow. Next up, we have Lovey Dovey. And this is an It's So Emma pattern, which means that for January, this is actually part of the Fat Quarter Shop sale. It is very similar to the Hold Me pattern, but it definitely has a different feel. So depending on what you prefer, you might like one more than the other. All right, now we have Rosewood by My So Quilty Life. And this was a pattern that didn't strike me the first time I saw it when I was just looking at the picture, the stock picture of it. But I ended up seeing it made up, and it is stunning when it is actually put into fabric. So again, this is something that could very much be more spring, but it definitely speaks to Valentine's Day as well, and it would make a great transitional piece. All right, now this is really more of a small wall hanging, but it is called Stitched with Love, and it's from Thimble Blossoms. And this is something that you could put up all year long. It is not strictly for Valentine's Day. If you're not that into decorating for Valentine's Day, this would be a great option to work on to still get that kind of a feel when you're in the sewing room and you're just wanting to work on something that celebrates the season we're in. All right, so moving on to books, we have Sew in Love by Laundry Basket Designs, Laundry Basket Quilts. This book just makes me think of, you know, grandma's house in the country. It is so beautiful. And for the large sampler quilt that's in the book, it actually has instructions for an applique version or a pieced version, which I thought was a really unique touch that you don't see very often. The other book I have on this list is Rose in Bloom by Lella Boutique. And if you got the December Sew Sampler, then you should also have received a coupon on the back of the insert to receive this book for free if you spent $40 or more at Fat Quarter Shop. So this is a fun one and definitely one that is already in my basket. Right, next up we have quilt kits. And the first one on our list is This Is Love by Sandy Gervais. And this quilt kit is just so beautiful. I love it. It's got cherries on it and it says love. It's got the hearts. It's the whole 9 yards. It is very, very Valentine's Day. And I love that little pop of teal in it. It just gives it a very fresh, new feel. Next up is Made with Love. And I'm not really too sure that much about this. I can't tell you a whole lot about it, but I can say that it looks like it'd be a lot of fun as a wall hanging for a sewing room with a little spool of thread, and it's got that beautiful Valentine's Day feel. Next up, we have Luminous, and I believe this was designed by Art Gallery for their Love Struck line. And this is such a fun quilt kit, such a fun quilt pattern, I should say, but they've put it together as a kit. And I just love how small each of those triangles are. And the last, but definitely not least, we have Heirloom Hearts. And when I saw this quilt kit, my heart jumped a beat. I love this. The colors are stunning and the pattern is beautiful. I really love that argyle kind of a feel that the pattern creates. It is so pretty. And this is made with the Love Struck fabric line from Art Gallery. And I think this is just a perfect example of this fabric line. It just is beautiful in my opinion. I will try to include links to everything that I am showing here today. So check in the description box, and that is where you should find just about everything. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like this type of video, let me know in the comments and please like it. That way I know to make more videos like this for other seasons or holidays. Thank you for joining me. Please remember to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.